Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Norma Shita binti Muhammad Sayuti. Matric number 1211753. Today, our group will explain about concept of tawarruk and application in Islamic banking. Introduction. There are a various banking products used and offered by Islamic financial institutions today to the customer, including partnership contracts such as mudarabah, musyarakah, while financing products such as ijarah contract, bayi bersama al-ajil, murabahah, bayi inat, tawarruk and other contracts. However, there are some differences of opinion and criticism of some Sharia concept use item. In order to reduce criticism and differences of opinion, some Sharia concepts have been introduced to this, such as mutanakishah musyarakah contract, apply in-house financing that used to apply financing based on baik bithaman ajil, and the concept of tawarruk in personal financing and liquidity needs replacing by the baik inah contract. This study aimed to make a deeper look of the principle and application of tawarruk, which are still being used by financial institutions in Malaysia in providing cash or needs liquidity to customers. Tawarruk is also known as a murabahah commodity and is increasingly used widely by Islamic financial institutions around the world in various products such as liquidity, cash instrument, financial instrument, and sukuk insurances.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Aminatul Husna binti Zulkifli, matric number 1211747. I will explain about definition of tawarruk. Firstly, the literal meaning of tawarruk is derived from the word al-warq or al-waraqah, which means main dirham or any silver that is used to serve as a medium of exchange. And the term of basically tawarruk comes from the word wari, as it mentions in Surah Al-Kahfi. So send of you with these silvery coins of yours to the town. This ayah, this surah explain dirhams made of silver. So the scholars invent the term of tawarruk for the one who may be pressure himself on how to obtain al-warik or cash money. Next, technical meaning of tawarruk is the purchasing of a commodity on credit by the mutawarik, which is seeker of cash, and selling it to a person other than the initial seller, which is a third party, for a lower price on cash. This transaction is called tawarruk, mainly because when the buyer purchases the asset on deferred terms, it is not the buyer's intention to utilize the benefit from the purchased asset, rather to facilitate him to attain liquidity, which is warak maliyah.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Aimanah binti Abdul Qadir. My matric number 1211754. And I will explain about the views on the concept of buying at tawarruk. The views of scholars of the past. Some of them say it is allowed. This view was presented by Abu Yusuf from the sect Hanafi, Imam Ash-Shafi'i, Imam An-Nawawi. One of the Imam's views, Ahmad ibn Hanbal, Ibn Humam, and his followers. And the second view said it is makruh. This is the view of the Maliki sect, and the narration the second from Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal. And the last opinion said it is makruh that approach haram. This opinion stated by Imam Muhammad bin Al-Hasan Al-Shaybani, Ibn Taymiyyah, and Ibn Qayyim. Second, the view of contemporary scholars. Majma' al-Fiqh al-Islam in its 15th conference allowed tawarruk. This decision actually refers to tawarruk where there is no prior agreement between the parties involved in the contract. However, in the 17th conference, the decision made is to prohibit tawarruk. This decision applies to the form of tawarruk which is practiced in some financial institution, or which is also termed as at-tawarruk al-munazzam. The reason for rejecting the form of this tawarruk is that the financial institution act as a representative for the mustawrik. which is customer who need cash liquidity in selling goods purchased from the institution to a third party has similarities with the practice of buying al-inah and does not conform to the form of tawarruk required or allowed by the scholars of the past. However, a tawarruk al-munazzam was required or allowed by Middle East Islamic Financial Advisory Council such as the National Commercial Bank and Shamil Bank. Among the advisors who have approved the form of tawarruk is Abdullah bin Sulaiman al-Mani'. Apart from that, among the current Islamic scholars who allow a tawarruk to be introduced in a current Islamic finance are Dr. Adam Isa, Ustamah Bahar and Dr. Sulaiman Nasir al-Unwan. And among contemporary scholars who rejected the form of tawarruk practiced by Islamic financial institution is Dr. Khalid bin Ali al-Mushayqah, Dr. Rafiq Yunus al-Misri and Dr. Hussein Hamid Hassan. Dalil the fuqaha of the past and contemporary that allow buying tawarruk is قال الله تعالى أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وأحل الله البيع وحرم الربا. This verse explains that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala permits all forms of buying and selling except for those forms of buying and selling that have evidence, dalil, that prohibits it. In this verse also, the word buy includes all types of buying and selling including buying at tawarruk. And dalil the fuqaha of the past and contemporary that not allowed buying tawarruk. Abu Hurairah radhiyallahu anhu narrated that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Qala Ali, qala Ibnu Isa hakaza haddathana Hashim, qala sayati 'ala nas zaman udud ba'dul muwassiru 'ala ma fi yadayhi wa lam yu'ammaru bidzalik. Qala Allah ta'ala, wa la tansul fadla bainakum wa yubayyi'ul muttarun wa qad nahaa an-nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam bay'ul muttar wa bay'ul gharar wa bay'us samarah qabla an tudrak." And from the hadith, Ibn Qayyim explains that there are three parts to the transaction. This is, first, if the person needs money and he has to buy something with a different price and then sell it back to the owner, then this is bay'ul inah. And if he sells to someone other than his master, then it is known as bay' tawarruk. And third, if it's sold to a third party where this third party has a relationship with buyers and sellers, then all three of these parts are used by people who practice riba. Therefore, scholars who rejected bay' tawarruk think that the main purpose of doing a tawarruk transaction is to get money, where at the end of this transaction, the buyers get money by buying money with more monies. And this is riba. Goods are only an intermediary and the ownership of the good is not the real purpose.
My name is Nurul Najiha binti Saman Hamizi. My metric numbers 12111762. Now I will continue for this presentation for the topic tawarruk. First of all, we know that the bank is a medium for everyone to obtain personal financing, and how the concept of tawarruk was applying in the bank to obtain personal financing for someone. Firstly, a customer go to the bank and want to get personal loan which is amount 10,000 ringgit. The bank will buy a commodity from any broker or any trader with Sharia appliance. After the bank buy a commodity, the bank will sell a commodity to the customer with price 15,000, which is plus profit and cost price for the bank. Then after the customer agree to buy a commodity, a customer should pay to the bank deferred monthly for 5 years. Then after this, the customer asks the bank to buy his commodity to any broker, or a new broker or a new trader with amount 10,000 ringgit. Then after the commodity was sold by the broker, the amount of 10,000 ringgit credited to customer's account. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Shazada Ashanti Minhad, metric number 1213365. So I will continue with the difference between applications of tawarruk and bai alina. Bai alina is a sale to get cash, not property, or a sale in which a commodity is sold for deferred payment, which is saman muajjal, and then we sold to the seller on cash basis, which is cheaper than deferred price. Meanwhile, tawarruk is defined as the commodity was bought by somebody which is mustawrik at a deferred payment and sells it to the other person other than the first seller at a discount price and with immediate payment. The main difference between the two is that in INA, the commodity returns to its original seller, whereas in tawarruk, the commodity is sold to a third party. This main difference is one of the reasons why some of the proponents view tawarruk as permissible. Moreover, tawarruk is distinguished from bai alina because there is no buyback. On the other hand, the mutawarrik party is free to dispose of the goods to any other party in the open market. Bai alina, the owner of the commodity will get the commodity back plus the payment, which is deferred, whilst the customer will get cash and settle the obligation of payment on installment basis. There are two contracts involved, which are the contract of sale and contract of purchase. For application of bai alina, the first contract happens when bank sells certain asset to the customer on deferred term. The second contract is when the bank subsequently purchases the asset back from the customer on a cash basis. Furthermore, there are two forms of tawarruk, namely classical and organized tawarruk. Classical tawarruk is the original practice of the tawarruk process, where the one who needs the cash immediately will buy the asset from the seller by installment and cash plus profit, and then he needs to find another buyer, which is other than the first seller, who is willing to buy the same asset by cash but at lower cost. For organized tawarruk, the bank arranged the transaction where it sells the commodity to the customer by installment, which is cost plus profit, and at the same time, the bank will act as an agent to the customer, finding the new buyers who is willing to pay at the cash basis at the lower price. Then the bank will transfer the funds to the customer.
In conclusion, bai at-tawarruk is a form buying and selling that involves three or more parties. A tawarruk is a new alternative in assisting Islamic financial institution in diversity in product and type of financial for consumer. The variety of product offered by the financial institution is able to give consumer a choice to obtain Sharia compliant financing and able to compete with existing conventional financial institutions. Although the majority scholar and Sharia bodies from Islamic financial institutions around the world have adopted tawarruk contract in Islamic banking product as well as Malaysia, but the application of the tawarruk, especially tawarruk munazzam, need to be implemented carefully and so that the implementation does not conflict with the Sharia principle. The International Council of Fiqh Academy (OIC) also encourage Islamic financial to offer Qadrul Hasan a Sharia principle to users who need financing or cash that not only relate and stick to the contract based on the tawarruk in principle. That's all from our group. Thank you.